What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. I've been having a blast uploading these videos. I've really loved it. Like, I still upload on my daily channel, but I've just really had a lot of fun doing this. And I love languages, and I love that people are responding. I love that you guys are enjoying the podcast and stuff like that. But I wanted to make another video today about the top 10 languages on my language list. What languages do I want to learn? Perhaps go into a little bit on some of them as to why. And stuff like this. And when I was making this list, I didn't have a lot of trouble. I knew right out of the gate, a couple of, like, honestly about the first 8 or 9, I knew 10 was kind of a toss-up, and I'll get into that in just a second, but there's a good reason I picked the language I did at 10. However, even though I just said that, these languages are not in a particular order. 10 probably, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, let's get into this list. So, first and foremost, number 1 is Japanese. That one actually probably could stay number 1. I noticed that these aren't in any kind of order, but Japanese has always been my dream language. It's the first language I ever started learning. I don't remember most of it. I think I've talked about several times, but Japanese, I want to learn. I love their culture. I love, and it's not even like, I'm not a big anime fan, so it's not like I want to learn anime. Like, it's nothing like that. I love their culture. I'm a huge pro wrestling fan, and they have a great wrestling industry there and stuff like that, and I just love Japanese. I think it's a beautiful language, and I would really love to learn it. Number 2 is Korean, and Korean, it depends on what day of the week it is, but Korean sometimes catapults Japanese for me. I didn't have a lot of interest in Korean until my buddy Evan went there as a teacher of English, and hearing him talk about it, and of course he learned it and stuff, and hearing him talk about the culture got me more interested in Korean, and I love the alphabet. I think the Korean alphabet may be my favorite alphabet on the planet. I absolutely love it. I think it's logical, and I don't know, I really like it. So Korean, I have it number 2. Again, I don't know, I guess I'll stop saying this, but it's not necessarily that it's the number 2 language I want to learn, but this is just keeping my bullet points here. Number 3, Vietnamese. I adore Vietnamese culture. I adore Vietnamese cuisine. I adore Vietnamese people. I love Vietnam. I'm so impressed with Vietnam. You got to think, man, 50, years ago, what year is it, 2018? 50, how many ever years ago? They were a war-torn country, just ravaged by, violence and stuff from the war, and within 50 years, they are the I believe it's the 20, I just looked this up the other day, it's 22nd or 27th, but they have, I think it's 22nd, they have the 22nd highest literacy rate in the world, and that is so impressive, the rebound that country has had, which is, I guess that doesn't have anything to do with language learning, but it's part of what interests me about their culture, the resiliency of the people. And it's crazy because that is a higher literacy rate than countries like Brazil. They have a higher literacy rate than several like countries that you would think that would have a higher literacy rate, and I think Puerto Rico's on there. So there's a lot of, that's nothing negative towards those countries, but it just, again, where Vietnam was just, half a century ago is insane. The people from Vietnam are amazing. I tried to study Vietnamese for just a touch. The Duolingo course is kind of bobo, so to speak, so I don't know. I just don't think it works well for Vietnamese. So I need to find a different way of learning, and maybe I'll look into something, I don't know. But that is a language I want to learn. The people are super friendly. If you ever even make mention of, if you go on italki and put one of the languages you're learning as Vietnamese, you'll have 100 messages in a day. They love to help, and stuff like that. Also, it's not necessarily a small country. There's nearly 70, I think there's 78 million-ish, the last census, which I think their country is about 100 million people now, but there was 78 million people speaking it worldwide, and I think there's 16 or 17 million people speaking it as a foreign language. So that's 100 million people, just about, that you could speak Vietnamese with, and that's really impressive. Number 4 is Russian. As you know, I am just a Slavic language lover, and Russian would probably be first on my list of well, probably actually second, which is funny that I put it at number 4, but I was just scribbling these down. I love Russian, man. I love the alphabet. I love Cyrillic. I love stuff about it. What turns me off of Russian but would not prevent me from learning it is I think Russian is one of the languages that have 3 genders, just like German does. But I don't know, man. I love the sound of Russian, man, and Russia interests me. Like, Russia seems like, you watch videos online, man, and Russia seems like it's just a completely different, not even country, it seems like a completely different planet. And I mean that in a good way. I don't mean like that in a bad way. But yeah, I would love to learn Russian. Number 5 would be the first Slavic language that I want to learn, because I have studied it just a touch. I guess I would it's more of a dabble, but Polish, man. I don't know what it is. There's no explanation for it. And I'm sure you guys have your own thing where it's like, what language do I want to learn? And you say this, absolutely. And there's no reason why. You don't know. It's just you do. Polish, I love. The only word I remember from Polish is dobranoc, which is like good night. I don't know. But Polish would definitely be up there. Number 6 is technically a 2-parter. I'm going to say Chinese, but I don't mean that in just a standard, I only want to learn Mandarin, although Mandarin is probably more useful because there's more native speakers. I want to learn Cantonese as well. I'm only counting this as one part, but I do want to learn both major dialects in Chinese. I'm not going to get into some of the other dialects of Chinese, but I want to learn the 2 major dialects from Chinese, just because I do have an interest in that. Number 7 is German. Again, I've always thought German would be a nice bridge into Slavic languages. I don't know why, but German reminds me of... And I don't know, you probably criticize me or whatever, but I'm not overly great with language trees. I just love languages. So I don't know if German stems from a Slavic tree or Slavic languages stem from Germanic trees. I don't really know. I need to study more about that stuff, but I don't. But German would be up there. Czech would be another one. That would be number 8. And I love Czech. Again, I love the way it sounds, as you know, humongous Slavic fan, nothing to say there. Norwegian, I want to learn as well. I'm a huge fan of Norse, like mythology and stuff like that, and I am of Greek too, but I love Norse mythology and like the whole Viking thing and stuff like that. I think is very, very interesting. Plus Norwegian, if you learn that, would be a nice branch into being able to just knock out Danish and the other, oh my god, man, my brain literally just died. It just shut down. But anyway, the 3 Scandinavian languages, and so, you know, you could learn that and be Finnish. There we go. And then you could learn that and be fine from there. Number 10, this is the one I struggled with because I was like, well, I want to learn like Ukrainian, and I'd love to learn Turkish. I'd love to learn Hungarian, obviously. But number 10, I put as French. And the main reason that I put that is for French is because French has the ASIMO courses, and English has them as well, but English doesn't have as many. French is the native language that the ASIMO courses are wrote in, and so I think English has like 10 or 12. I know that there's like some bigger courses like Spanish and stuff like that, but French ASIMO has like Vietnamese and some other, like, I don't want to say obscure languages, but like languages that I would be interested in, and that is absolutely huge for me. So I sacrificed number 10 for a couple of other languages and put French because I could use that to then learn more languages. So that is my 10. Those are my 10. I can't even speak English. Those are my 10 languages. I'm interested to know if you're watching this and it's something that you enjoyed. Do a top 10 list of languages that you would love to learn, and I would love to hear that. Also, side note, I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning. I didn't put Spanish on here because I'm learning Spanish currently, and I can speak it. We'll say very but I didn't want to put that on there because I feel like that'd be redundant because I am actively learning it. But yeah, those are the 10. If it's something you enjoyed, please, man, fill out a top 10. Send it to me. You can either post a comment here and I'll let it. I'm not going to block it. That's fine. I don't mind people doing that if they're answering a challenge or anything like that. Or if you want to tweet it to me, I have a Twitter. It's at Langcast, Langcast, and then the number 1, Langcast1. So yeah, definitely send that to me. I'm interested to see what you guys have. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.